I mean, because of where you're at right now, because of the conference that you play in, like I don't want to say what's that gonna hurt, but what's going after Trey Young gonna hurt? Like what you're already staring being bad in the face right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're already staring that in the face. If Trey Young gets here and it's the worst case scenario, all right, you're you're bad. Like you're
You're
already gonna be
almost
bad.
certainly not worse
That's
than
I
you
guess
are
that's
right
an
now.
easier way of what I'm saying. Like, what are you really losing? Maybe 2 years on a rebuild.
And I think there's something important to point out. We've all heard you, me, Hammer. We've all heard different versions of what this might look like. Domas is not involved in any of these.
Right. That's yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not going to say it as a statement. I'm going to say it as a question. Is Keegan?
Not from what I've heard.
Not from what I've heard either. So you're adding Trey, at least based on what we've heard, to those two. Yeah, I think you're okay in that regard. Like if it was Domas and you're Scott Perry and you really buy Domantas Sabonis and pairing someone with him, I'd understand to a certain degree. You're not trading Domas, and if we're accurate, you're not trading Keegan either. Why? Like, what? I got questions.
Yeah. And securing the Bagley says.
In fact, get Scott Perry on the phone, please, Jesse.
Hit him up.
Just get him on the phone.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
Thank
Scott
you.
Perry, Scott Perry. Securing the Bagley says might be Scott Perry.
Hey, change your name to Securing the Trey.
He says because you wouldn't get back multiple first-round picks for Trey Young and a new 4 or 5 year max contract. These are to me personally, these are the chances you got to take here in Sacramento, California. These are the chances you got to take in the NBA. One of the differences between Sacramento and like a New York.
Hold on 1 second. I don't think I understand what Securing is arguing against.
Because you're losing for Trey Young, probably going to cost you some first-round picks. You're not going to
maybe one, maybe one, at the most 2. But I'm not sure he's costing you a ton. Atlanta's not in the best negotiating position here.
No, I'm mentally and emotionally prepared for 3.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's what.
Stop doing that.
But I'm willing. Between us.
Okay. All right.
Willing
well,
to go 3
now everyone knows.
Well, no, just everybody just settle down. Just talking.
Hang up on Scott Perry so he doesn't hear this.
I'm willing to go 3.
Jesse, he was right there too on line 2.
Aren't you willing to go 3 first rounders for Trey?
Well, damn, I don't think you need to.
Yeah.
No. I agree. But if they,
you know what? Make it 5, Kenny.
I didn't. 3 is the max. But what I'm saying, if they, Jesse, if they said, look, we can get a deal done if you add another first.
And what am I sending?
You're sending 2 players, a Devin Carter type. DeRozan will probably be in the deal some way.
Yeah, I don't,
probably a third team involved.
I'm just saying I'm willing to. And
they're getting that Spurs pick too. We don't want that thing. Get that Spurs pick.
Yeah, take the Spurs pick and we keep our own.
Yeah, you get this. To be clear, we're negotiating the Spurs pick, not ours.
Yeah, but the whole point of it is like, why would you do this 4 or 5 year max for Trey? I'm willing to take that chance, man. I'm willing to take that chance on a player like Trey Young. Like I don't believe here in Sacramento you'll be able to get a player of that caliber on the market without taking some type of risk like that. I'm okay with taking that chance. Some people aren't. I get it. But I'm okay with it. Like you can tank or do all that other stuff. That comes with its own sense of risk that people don't factor in. Like they want to tank, they want to blow this thing up. What if you never find a good player? What if you tank and you never are able to draft or come across a player as good as Trey Young, who's a multi-time All-Star?
I kind of see it, and I told him, I see it like after you trade Levine next year or whatever, like you got the toughest part of the build done, right? I'd assume everyone's number one option is like look for the guy. That kind of, in a way, starts your new future in a sense where, all right, it's time to build around Trey Young. Like this year, won't look great given it's a tough defensive backcourt with Trey and Levine. But next year you move off of Levine, bring in some wings or whatever. Like maybe you could start building something off there then.
Dame said it best, man. Like if we're talking to Scott Perry, now that we're done, you can call him back again. But
I'm on it.
if all right, you don't want Trey, I get it. Who can you get that's equal or better? I'm not saying just do it because you can't, but like, okay, you don't like Trey. Let's go search for somebody that's equal or better. If you can't find that person, maybe you got to take that chance. Maybe you got to roll the dice.
How many times do we yell at the last guy for not?
What'd you say?
So how many times do we yell at the last guy for not taking a chance?
Every damn day.
Also,
literally, that's why he was fired.
Also, though, like we talked about earlier with James, like don't let the past noise or whatever influence you now. Like if it's just Trey's not your guy, he's not your guy, but you got to get something done.
Scared money don't make no money. I'm not willing to roll the dice. I'm not willing to roll the dice on a Drew Holiday or something like that, but I'll roll the dice on Trae Young. It might come up snake eyes, but I'm willing to roll the dice on Trae Young. I think he's that good of a basketball player.
I'd low-key be upset if it was Drew.
Positive or negative? I guess it's all glass half. I guess this is a glass half empty, glass half full question. I'm comfortable now with the idea these conversations have been going on. I'm gonna say conservatively for a month.
Sounds about right.
Like, and you do whatever the level of the conversation is. Talks of this have been happening for at least a month. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I ask because they've been going on. That means if there is a general manager, an agent, or I mean Trey, but it would be through his agent, that are just absolutely adamant that this is not a thing, it would be over. It would have ended a long time ago. So all parties are stimulated by this conversation. It's tantalizing. But why isn't it? Why does it seem like we're stuck on the final boss and we can't win the game?
So his question, like, if this is a good or bad thing, why it's taking this long?
Yes.
Okay. Again, like you said earlier, it depends on what you believe from what you heard today. Like if Scott or whoever is not a fan of Trae Young, it's a bad thing. To me, it's like, all right, maybe they're not doing that deal right now then.
And I'll put it to you like this. This is what I believe. If Scott isn't a fan of the deal, it's not happening.
Yeah, that's why.
Like, I don't like people were, Vivek's meddling and he wants Trae. Like, I don't think that's the case at all. The reason why you might be hearing some stuff is like you mentioned earlier, Atlanta, trying to persuade somebody, agents trying to persuade somebody and putting it out there publicly. If Scott Perry doesn't want to do the deal's not getting done.
Yeah.
I don't think he's getting pressure from Vivek or the higher ups, in this case, just Vivek, I guess, to make a deal that he doesn't want to do.